It says that we're live. Yeah, let's see what happens. I wonder if I could switch this to, because I mean, there could be people all over the world looking at you right now.
I hope so. I dearly hope so. And no one would know. Well, you would know.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and set this up like on the iPad here.
You excited?
How's your day?
Good. I actually was able to get some stuff done at work. I feel pretty good about wedding stuff, and my heart's full because I watched Star Wars: A New Hope.
We will talk about that, yes.
I hope so. I really do. So what would you consider success tonight?
Not having a kid barging into the room, covered in food.
Okay.
Or something like that.
Good. Do they know what's happening?
No, they don't.
Okay.
And interesting, no one knows. So not my kids, not my friends.
So
I'm keeping an eye on analytics here.
Smart. Can I ask you, do you have questions to ask me? Because I have some questions to ask you.
Yes, I do have questions. It says that there are 2 viewers on right now.
You and
so
me?
If you see us talking and bantering, feel free to drop a hi in the live chat on the right. So interesting, because I've seen so many other people do this for church or for work and things like that. And here we are.
No, I feel like we should have prayed beforehand.
We will.
Okay.
Well, but see, then I would have to remove my hat.
Why
see,
would you?
Like the numbers are actually going down. I mean, we've already lost viewers. It literally is audience of 1 tonight.
It's us. I have to believe it's us.
Yeah. Well, what I'm going to do is, do you get those messages from people who say like 100,000 Instagram followers right now? I don't even know why I gave that an accent. That's not implying anything that people with those kind of accents would sell Instagram followers, but should I do that right now?
I'm proud of the fact
that I pick up 100K right now?
Do you think you could?
I don't know, but now that I'm actually uttering those words out loud, I think there's probably something like internet advertising that now I'm going to start getting all those ads.
I know.
In my Instagram.
Well, I'm very proud of the fact that I only follow 100 people. I have decided the people who are important to me, and like I can only like see content from those people, and I try to make sure that I know them. I try not to follow celebrities, but it's just like it's kind of just like people who I would have like talked to on the phone before Instagram was invented. Like I would only want to keep up with those people.
So what do I have to do to make it onto that list?
You know you're on that list.
Really?
Yes, of course.
Sliding in right at 100?
That is exactly. I have kicked off cousins and kept you on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you think those cousins are watching right now?
No, because they don't follow me.
Okay. Oh, so they don't follow you back.
So it's a two-way street.
It was like mutual destruction there. Mutually assured destruction.
Something very
well, if anyone is watching this, feel free to announce yourself in the live chat on the side. We'll give it a couple of minutes. I'm posting this on my various social medias.
Your stories.
So let's see here. myspace.com.
Oh, that joke's a little old, Eric. And so are you.
Oh, that's who you're dealing with tonight.
Did you like how I folded my sweaters for you in the background?
Oh, hold on. Let me type this into MySpace really quickly. I mean Facebook.
That is true. Now, tell me, do you have TikTok?
I downloaded it, and for only one reason.
Okay.
Zeke Ward every day.
Yep.
Yeah, and I've seen a few of his videos, and to be honest, my phone doesn't have much storage on it, so I removed TikTok. So probably what I'll do is I'll download it just to catch up with Zeke, and then uninstall, and I'll just do that.
I'm right there with you. I follow him and one other friend, and I don't follow anyone else. I have no videos. I have no information, yet I have followers on TikTok.
What? You have followers?
I have one follower. I'm very proud of that.
Who is it?
I think it's like a TikTok bot, like something generated that like is trying to follow you. So I've got my one.
Yeah. So do you tell like good computer jokes and stuff like that? What do bots find funny?
This is a very Noah question. I think Noah would have a good answer, and Micah might be able to chime in too. I think, are they in the knock knock joke phase of their humor?
Micah, very much so. Yes. Yeah. It's something we're dealing with. No, Micah is really big into puns now. I don't know where he got it. He's big into dry humor. Where's that coming from?
His sarcasm as well.
Oh gosh, the sarcasm.
It's bad.
The sarcasm is dripping, and it is it's a rough one.
If it helps, I was really annoying until I was like 17, and then I got a little bit more manageable. Like I had really dumb humor. I thought I was funny. I wasn't. No one appreciated it. And it was the worst in 7th grade. That's when it got really bad.
Okay, so we're at dinner. We're having dinner. A 7th grade Sophia is sitting there.
No,
and
class.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we're learning about, let's see, what's Noah learning? Noah's in 7th grade. He's learning, I don't know, like about the American Revolution. Oh, no, he's explorers.
Okay.
So we're learning about Christopher Columbus. And what does Sophia say?
I would make fun out of like the name Columbus. I would try to make it into like Columbus, like why not Columbut? And like I would go for that humor. Also, I thought the name Bob was so funny. I just thought like, oh my gosh, his name is Bob. Our principal's name was Bob. I thought that was so funny.
Yeah.
And I also thought talking about Michael Jackson was really funny too, because like Michael Jackson was like probably a pedophile then. And like that was really funny, was to joke about that. So I was always edgy, and it never paid off. Like, you know how you describe comedians?
To the edges you can get. Yeah, I didn't know that we were going to celebrities and scandal and stuff like that, but you never know what you get.
Yeah.
When you talk to Sophia Bachmann.
When people like say that they push boundaries, I pushed it in a wrong way. I pushed it in a dumb way. It wasn't, Salem Lutheran School was not ready for what I had in my pocket.
Well, I see that we have people watching. If you're watching, which I guess you are, feel free to say something in the live chat. I know that we're all probably speechless after Sophia dropped a Michael Jackson scandal reference. I'm still trying to recover, but if you can say something, if you have anything to say, please feel free to say, I'm watching. You don't even have to name yourself.
Sure, your
Well,
bad joke.
you can name yourself whatever you want because this is the internet. And who knows? I could actually be a 75-year-old man.
I can't
You
work
never
with
know.
that. Yeah.
You never know.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, it says that we have 4 people on. So
I'll take it.
I guess Ian Hazard is speechless. You have dumbfounded Ian. Ian, thanks for joining.
Is it my Ian?
Oh no. We will talk about this, how Sophia is marrying someone named Ian. But no, this is a different Ian.
You're also marrying someone named me?
I'm not.
Okay, just one.
But Ian is my friend
Okay.
in Gainesville. So he does not know what to say after the celebrity scandal reference.
Thank you.
Anyone else out there? I told you, audience of 1.
Let's generate some content here, shall we?
Okay, all right. Well, for everyone who's watching, and there probably is just like a mob of a few hundred people all gathered in one place, socially distant, masks on, hazmat suits on, things like that. So welcome. Thank you for joining us for our first live talk show. I guess my first live talk show because I've always thought that I would be good at this. And YouTube lets people do things and they don't really vet them. Surprise, surprise. So here we are. And my guest for our first episode is one Sophia Bachmann, who I've known for, I guess, fewer than 5 years because I've been at King's for 5 years. And still, you've joined us, you folded your sweaters for the background.
Yep, thank you.
There's a really nice color palette going on.
Thank you.
And we're just gonna talk, yeah. We're gonna talk about stuff, we're gonna tell jokes, we're gonna make people feel really awkward because that's just who we are, what we do. Sophia, how are you? Thanks for joining.
Thrilled, delighted, honored, tickled pink to be joining with you, Eric Corpus. We've been meaning to collaborate for a while, and here we have it on live. YouTube invited you. That was so nice of them.
How does it make you feel to be the first?
I feel good. I feel confident that you can only go up from here, quality-wise, interesting-wise. I'm interested. I think I'm a good, solid, like neutral, someone who's known you an okay amount of time.
Yes. Yeah, because once you start to get to know me too long, it's just like, we're just gonna fade off in the background here. So how is this, how are you doing during this whole pandemic thing? Like, where have you been? Have you been in a bunker somewhere? Where have you spent it? No one here, who knows who's watching, so people don't know you, they probably don't know me. So how have you been spending this 2020 pandemic?
I pretended it hasn't existed and lived a fairly normal life, actually. Okay. Besides not eating in a restaurant or going to a movie, I've just kind of chucked the rules. I'm only wearing a mask when I feel like other people are watching me. So, if someone's across the park, I'll wear it. But I moved in this pandemic. I've made plans in this pandemic. I've changed apartments, and I'm like getting a wedding dress in this pandemic. I've been moving and shaking. I've been applying to jobs in the pandemic.
Yeah.
Like nothing's holding me back, baby. This is normalcy.
So if you could, so you're serious about, because I was thinking, Sophia joking. So you're serious about maybe not taking it terribly seriously because you're in Boston before.
Yes.
And now you're in New York City.
Yes.
What's the difference like between how people are panicking in Boston versus how we're panicking in New York?
I'm going to use my history degree and inform you about something. The Puritan culture of Boston is very much alive and well, where there is a shame-based, like you have to conform with the rest of us and you have to pay your taxes, mow your lawn, wear your mask, very strict. People were very, very concerned And Boston has obviously a smaller population than New York, but it had a fraction of the cases, and people really like cared. So in New York, like, this is my business. In Boston, you conform and you never want to be yelled at. You can be running in 90-degree heat and you need to have your mask on. I was caught doing that and I was yelled at by a very old man. So
did they put you like in the stocks in the courtyard? Like, do they still have that kind of thing going on?
they use that during the winter. So since summer, no, they have alternative methods. Again,
Okay.
more shame based. So, but I'm okay. I'm alive. My limbs are working naturally.
Okay, great. So on this serious level, I mean, say 1 to 10, 10 being you've got your N95 mask, you've got your face shield, sanitizer, 1 meaning I lick subway poles. Where would you put yourself in terms of seriousness?
For the sake of other people in my life, I'm a 4. I would probably be like a little more relaxed if it was just me, but I've got roommates who are a little bit more compromised, so I wash my hands. Of course I wear my mask, but when I'm in a park, I don't. I just came from the park an hour ago, and people weren't wearing masks in Central Park.
New York City.
Can't do that.
What? So how have you Biden? No, that's not
Bode well.
But yeah, how have you spent your time then?
Like everyone else, this probably isn't going to be that different. You know, virtual job during the day, catching up on Disney Plus at night, trying to see friends from across the street, waving to them, as is their comfort level. But every night I've actually been out and about, trying to actually physically see people in person. Yeah, New York's on the upswing right now.
There's no holding you down. That's from the moment I met you, I just thought there's no holding her down. No. What's your favorite section on Disney Plus?
Okay, this is very recent. Before yesterday, I would have said Marvel. As of last night at 11 p.m., Star Wars. My first foray into this series, A New Hope. Did you know that it's good? Did you know that Star Wars is actually good?
When you told me that you watched Star Wars last night, I was waiting for the like, what's the big deal about this? I've never really known you to be a sci-fi lover, a Wookiee lover, anything like that.
Call me Bachmann. This is now like I'm on a team here. This is fantastic. The characters, the world building, the story, the pacing even. This is 1977 and the graphics hold up. The CGI like reboot from what George Lucas did in 2011, not so much. Again, this is an opinion of a loved one who said it's bad, so I'm repeating it, but I agree. But I'm very satisfied with how they treated the story.
Yeah. Well, we're just gonna jump in then, because I was gonna hold this for later on my notes, but you did it. So you just watched this last night. So we're gonna test your knowledge. This has 23 questions. So we're just gonna make this speed round because we don't want to lose viewers. We're at like this minimal number of concurrent viewers right now, according to YouTube. And my self-esteem cannot handle seeing it drop. So quickly, speed round. Although his name was Obi-Wan Kenobi, who was he known as? Ben. Correct. Oh man, this site is just full of ads. This is gonna take forever.
Even better.
In Star Wars Episode 4, why was the Empire trying to capture Leia? She escaped an Imperial prison. She had stolen weapons. She had the Death Star plans.
Death Star plan.
Submit.
I have a laptop here as backup. I'm not even using it. I have it.
Oh yeah, this is like the cheapest version of Kahoot we could imagine. You played Kahoot?
Nope.
Okay, never mind. The Empire's here. In Star Wars Episode 4, blah, 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 who raised Luke Skywalker?
His aunt and uncle, just like Spider-Man.
Bonus points for their names?
Okay, I wasn't sure. Is it like Peru is the aunt? And I don't know what the uncle's name is, so I'm gonna say Ben, like Spider-Man.
Close. I'll give you half a point for it's Beru, B-E-R-U, not to be confused with Beirut, and Owen.
Okay,
It didn't say that on there. That's in
got
here.
it. Thank you.
Who is R2D2 carrying a message for? Do I need to
Obi-Wan.
even? I don't even need to read these answers here. Okay, I see the ads for distance learning. I'm not going to click on them. Who or what are Luke and Han clearly both interested in? The rebellion?
Leia, see you later. What are you talking about? Are you kidding me? This is insulting. Are these Eric Corpus questions or are these
aren't.
like...
These are proprofs.com.
Okay.
There are ads for 3 things right now: Jeep, Halo Infinite, and Philips Lifeline. I don't know what that is. Like,
this is a good audience,
maybe. What happens after Leia and the rest fall in the garbage?
The walls close in.
Okay.
And there's a snake. That's a creature.
Okay, I'll give it to you. A monster grabs Luke.
Yeah. Well, okay. The monster was kind of dumb because like he actually didn't do anything.
He tried.
Yeah. But so did he leave because the walls were closing in and he knew what was going on?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that he knows what's up. Like once everything starts creaking, once personal space gets, he's losing personal space, he's out of there.
Okay.
R2D2 and C3PO escape Leia's ship in what? A pod, a cruiser, a fighter ship, an Imperial transport.
Oh, I don't like a pod, I guess.
Final answer?
Because they were on an Imperial transport. So they escaped on a pod.
You are correct. All right, we have to move on because I don't know. If people are just getting really bored and just want to move on, let me know. Pop it in the chat.
I don't care. I love it. This isn't for the audience. This is for me.
All right. Uncle Owen hopes that Luke doesn't become like whom?
His father. Who we don't know who it is, but I could know. Tune in next week.
Yes. Where do Luke and Obi-Wan find Han Solo?
In the cantina bar. On a planet?
I'll give it to you. Bonus points for name of cantina.
Is it Jabba's cantina? I don't know.
Some people probably call it that, depending on who you have allegiance to. Mos Eisley. Actually, no, is that the name? No, Mos Eisley is the name of the city. I guess like the city. Correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. It might just be Mos Eisley Cantina. Honestly, it's probably sponsored by something now. Okay. So it's probably something like, Prawn Weed Eater Cantina or something.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A Cantina, I don't know. Although I think that I just can't imagine them saying my pleasure after serving like some kind of steaming drink. Who helps Han destroy the Imperial fighters? Chewie, Luke, Leia, or Lando Calrissian?
All right. Chewie, baby, this is happening.
Sophia Bachmann, unfortunately, it's telling us that it's Luke.
Oh, well, but no, because Chewie was there the entire time.
I know. We'll submit some feedback to proprofs.com. I don't appreciate, how it says Imperial fighters.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's talking about the actual starships,
okay.
battlecraft, but
you know what? This isn't the letter of the law. This is the spirit of the law. I feel like I am in spirit with this movie.
Okay, I think so. I can feel it. I can feel the force flowing through you.
Thank you.
We're losing viewers. I just know it. Okay, we're at 11:20 here. We'll do a couple more, and then we'll do the math and just see where you are. Han Solo meets whom before leaving Tatooine? A stormtrooper, the cantina owner, a gambler, Jabba the Hutt.
Jabba.
Correct.
Okay. I don't remember who shot him. And I don't care about the debate about who shot first.
Really?
I'm not invested like others are invested. I've been
Yeah.
told Han, what did I see with my eyes? Something different.
This could be a dividing line
That's okay.
tonight. Yeah. Who destroys the Death Star?
Are you kidding me?
Biggs Dark Lighter, Han Solo, Wedge Antilles, some guy named Luke.
Some guy named Luke. Yikes.
Correct. Out of 12, there are 11 more, but I think that we have to move on. My sponsors are telling me you got 11 out of 12.
Thank you.
So finishing Calculus 3 in college tells me that that's over 90%. So I think that you are seriously a Jedi Knight level Star Wars fan, like one day after.
I feel like I just took a BuzzFeed quiz and it told me like, which Star Wars character are you? And you're telling me I'm a Jedi Master, which I think is a Jedi Knight.
No, you have to climb the ranks there. But I mean, to be a Jedi Knight the next day, that's unheard of.
Luke was pretty good practicing with Obi-Wan.
Yeah, but it took him longer than a day though.
We'll find out episode 5.
Yeah. Great. Well, we will return to this in future talk shows, and we'll probably devote entire talk shows. I look forward to reading your fan fiction, all of that stuff. How else have you spent your time during the pandemic? So you watch Star Wars. Have you gained any new skills?
I am doing boot camp with an old roommate over Zoom, and she corrects my plank form. And I'm terrible at it, but I'm getting better. So also something called Russian twists and something called a Budapest squat or some sort of Eastern European squat. Just anything that was part of the former Soviet Union, added to an exercise, it's going to be killer.
Yes, I can imagine that. What about, see, this is what I get for not getting a master's in history, because I really wanted to slip a joke in there. But I was just like trying to run through my Slavias, and I just didn't know like what was part of that or not. Like, what was Yugo part of that?
Yes, and of course it broke up. Just a heads up.
Yes.
So thank you, Balkan Wars. You could go with a Stan, a Kyrgyz, an Uzbek, Kazakh. There's tons of those.
That's true. Okay, another opportunity lost there. Gosh, because there's so many pun possibilities. But anyway, the moment is gone. What have you lost any skills during the pandemic?
How to talk to people probably is a good one. Actually, I miss commuting. I miss like being a good commuter and being at work on time, because now it's like no one cares about being to work on time unless you have a meeting. And everyone knows that meetings are awful right now. So yeah.
Zooms are the worst.
Zoom, thank you. You understand me.
I mean, this one being
the
bottom of the barrel. Yeah. I mean, I've worked remote for several years, so I'm just very thankful because, through all the hardships of this time, especially with 3 kids and stuff like that, work has not really been, a strain. Like, I've been employed, working side projects and things like that. So I'm very thankful and blessed to have that. And our team has been remote for, we're just really fortunate that our team has been remote for different stretches. So we've kind of gone humming along and accomplished some pretty great things for our team. I'm not going to use that as an advertisement or anything like that.
New website, you've done a rebrand. It looks killer. Okay, let me be your sponsor. I am impressed by you, Eric. But you know what would be really impressive?
More. I mean, go ahead, go on.
All right, here's my critique. You still have a web series from 2016 that is unfinished that I am waiting to watch. And you know why I'm invested? Because I was your location scout and I found you a random friend's apartment for you to film. Just tell the kids what your web series is about, Eric.
I thought I was asking the questions here. So there, there's this fantastic web series that I wrote about probably 20 years ago now. I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. It is about a guy in New York City who gets involved. Oh, first of all, in front of many of the churches in New York City, there's a sign that says no parking anytime for a stretch of the street where people are not allowed to park, presumably to let clergy, folks who work for the church, to give them a place to park. So I was walking by there one day, and after getting a batch of parking tickets on our own, I just combined those two thoughts and figured, wouldn't it be funny if it wouldn't be funny if a guy got involved with a church just to take advantage of the free parking there. And out of that came 11 episodes that I wrote. And then we started shooting it. Had no idea what I was doing, but yet people wanted to be involved. And yes, our first shoot was location scouted and managed by you at the Santuli's apartment on the Upper East Side. And we rearranged it all around. And it will never see the light of day because we changed actors, and we just, again, I just had no idea what I'm doing. And then we shot more stuff, and then life flipped upside down and backwards and inside out. And I doubt any of my actors are watching, but if they are, we're gonna make it happen.
You have your Kickstarter?
Somehow. I mean, it'll change, because it was about a millennial who got involved with the church to take advantage of the parking. I guess he's not going to change out of being a millennial. He'll probably be like a 50-year-old by the time we get to making it.
Yeah.
An AARP member gets involved with the church to take advantage of the free parking. So I'm going to have to tweak the script there a little bit.
It's going to be a niche audience either way.
Yeah. Is anyone watching? If you're watching, feel free to use the live chat, ask us questions, make comments. Please don't flame us or anything like that.
I've got a question from the audience. I'm an audience. Eric, which of your children are your favorite?
Okay. I would say that my 3 most favorite children, in order of descending age, are Noah, Micah, and Ezra.
Stupid.
And there are, I also consider myself to have a lot of I've got nothing. Yeah.
Spiritual children?
Yes, the pandemic has dulled my sensibilities, but I caught that one. I saw that you were trying to lay a trap for me.
No.
And I saw it. The great test is asking if we've talked about Sophia's fiance. Are you hacked into my iCloud? Because we were just about to talk about that.
I did. Send that in. Wow.
Yeah. So you mentioned buying a wedding dress.
Yes.
Why would you want to do that?
To look beautiful in front of people that have known me since I was alive.
At what event would you wear a wedding dress?
Well,
did you have any plans this weekend?
I finally stopped dating men who were unattractive, and I dated someone who was truly a joy to watch and just look at. And he asked me to marry him last August. We thought we were going to be engaged for 4 months, and that turned into a year. Not just because of the pandemic, but because someone wanted to finish her Ivy League degree. And then we had family plans they were all booked up in May and June and most of July a couple months ago, but poof, those plans went away. So our intended date is the same, end of July. We're going to get married in New York. And we're going to get married at the church that he and I met at. So I'm very excited for that. He still works there at a different location.
Yes. So New York is New York is looking decent. So it looks like this is going to happen as you.
So someone's invited, Eric, and someone's youngest is supposed to be ring bearer, but who knows?
Yeah. Well, it is on our calendar.
Hot ticket.
And yes, so Ezra is, I wish I could, here,
Did he practice at least bearing a ring? Did he like even like attempt to walk down a hallway with a pillow on his hands?
I haven't, oh, well, he turned 4 in February.
Sure.
And I checked all the parenting books and I don't see anywhere that lists that milestone for bearing rings. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what babycenter.com says.
Okay, look it up. Were you ever asked to be a ring bearer? Do you remember?
I'm not that tall. So after college, my friend Jamie, when he got married, I didn't trip. So they were so proud of me. So many pats on the head that day. And it's
okay.
A question from the audience says, is he cool? I assume the crate test is asking about your fiance. I don't know. He could be asking about Ezra, but I'll take a leap thinking that he's asking about.
Ezra's a pretty cool cat. I'll say that Ezra's a good one. For being 4, I've known some dumb 4-year-olds. I'll say that much. And he's not one of them. I've also known other men. Ian's such a cool cat. He's cool with a K, you know. I'm a big fan of him. His worst quality, I'll just go there, he can't drive. So it's very annoying when he tried to help me move and what he could do was hang out in the passenger seat. Thank you for that. But other than that, he's got every great quality you can imagine. I'm a big fan of his heart. He's really great with kids. He's the oldest in his family. I'm the youngest in my family. I love that combination. So, and he's just a little taller than I am, and that's perfect. Isn't that right, Eric? Doesn't that matter?
That's everything.
It's everything.
Everything in the world. Well, we know Ian's family quite well. We had, not everybody, but a lot of you over for Thanksgiving this past year. And I wish that I could share videos. I know that that's technically possible, but I don't have all that wizardry.
I did teach Micah how to make chicken parm several times. So your son is able to feed not only himself, but your entire family, thanks to me.
Yeah. It's like you taught him how to fish.
Yes.
Like you didn't just give him a fish. You taught him how to bread it.
Yes.
Bake it. Or did you fry it first?
We fried it. We did everything with that chicken
coated
parm.
Breadcrumbs, put sauce, put parmesan, put mozzarella, you did all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that.
I've taught Noah nothing, by the way.
What's that?
I've taught Noah nothing, so I have to work on that.
Yeah, he reminds me of that every day.
Okay.
Every time I'm talking to you, I'm like, Sophia, what? Hannah, shout out to Hannah, who's good friends with Ezra. Hannah's Ian's sister, and also Isaac, who did a great job as a director of spiritual life at the King's College. And I would say I'm pretty sure it was speaking of your fiance, I'm pretty sure it was in Central Park that you told me that you were dating Ian, like at a Redeemer Presbyterian picnic?
That was a more significant moment for you than it was for me, unfortunately. I have no memory telling you that I was dating. I will say the amount of time that you were single and I was single was very narrow. It was not a big window. So there was very little chance of, unfortunately, me becoming stepmother to your children.
Yeah. I know. I was sleepwalking at that time, and I totally missed it. So we won't go there. I'm looking at my questions here.
I've got more for you. Don't worry.
I'm not playing 2048 or anything like that.
We did talk about doing a dating podcast 2 years ago when I was in the early stages of dating Ian and I wasn't sure about him yet. And so I was like, oh, I'll tell you my dating stories. You'll tell me yours. We'll talk about dating profiles, which up until recently, neither of us have ever done a dating profile. And it wasn't me who broke that streak, it was you.
I did, yes. I mean, my phone is blowing up. No, it's not. Um, it is such a strange, strange world out there, and the whole online dating thing. Uh, We should, you know, what we should do is we should get some guests and do like this whole bigger episode thing to talk about this, because I would love to hear from people who go on dates
Yes.
and who like get likes and messages and things like that. And that would be really interesting for me to hear what that's like.
I've got some TED Talks to send you. I would do information for other girlfriends, and I can
Mhm.
tell you like what women find it like just scientifically, like not like preference. But my brother and sister-in-law met on a dating app, and they both had friends help them set it up. Like you're not supposed to do it solo. So whatever you're doing, get like 12 people to comment on it and
Okay.
make yourself as bland as possible.
I mean, which character class are women most attracted to on your profile? Like, would it be a wizard, a rogue, a fighter, a
Shirtless
cleric?
photo. Stick with the shirtless photo. Start there, go further.
Okay. All right.
DC more than Marvel.
DC. So like go for the Aquaman vibe
Yep.
then. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, as I'm like training myself for pandemic, I am going for the Jason Momoa is how you pronounce his name? That's who the look I'm going for.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
so when we first met, and we are, yeah, let's just put everyone to sleep. When we first met, it was at the King's College. How would you describe the King's College? Because I know that you're really good at describing the King's College succinctly. So how would you describe it?
So King's, most of our audience is probably very familiar, but it's a Christian college in the middle of Manhattan, and that's pretty weird in and of itself. The fact that you do have people who are like committed to faith, but who also are choosing to give up a lot of, normal parts of their life to work and go to school at this small little liberal arts, kind of classically based. It's kind of a weird experiment that's been going on for over 20 years. So big fan. Eric was working there. I was working there. I had recently graduated from the college and didn't want to leave. So yeah, I think it's funny because I knew of you and we had the same boss technically, but very different departments. And you just mentioned how you had a family dinner that you hosted. You and your family just had a lot of
Yeah.
people over.
Or can we back up? Because this is, okay, now this is where I learn.
Yeah.
So when you knew of me, because ultimately this is just all about me.
Amen. Yeah, of course.
When you learned of me, because I remember when we first met, but what did you know coming into that meeting? Like I picture it specifically just because our office was so small.
I remember that.
So
Windowless.
yes,
So small.
windowless,
The next word, there were three of you.
spaceless. Yeah, yep. There were totally three of us. I don't know if any of the other two are watching right now. Maybe they will later. But what did you know about me coming in before we met? Because, or are you saying that you knew of me like after?
Okay, so I knew that your position existed. This is going to be such a letdown because I didn't think about you at all. Like you weren't forefront in my mind. I I think the first thing I knew about you was that you were celebrating your 15th wedding anniversary. And I remember my mind was blown because I thought you were 26 and you were a man well into you were an older millennial, as we should say.
Adulthood.
Thank you.
Well,
So it was just bizarre. But I mean, it was mostly the fact that I just wanted to like hang out with people. And I wanted to expand my community. I had just read Aziz Ansari's Modern Love about how to find someone in our crazy world. And he recommended not going online to date, but by expanding your circle of social people. And I thought that Eric would have excellent taste in men. So that's why I went to his family dinners, is because I wanted to meet men. And thank you for that, by the way.
Yeah,
Did you know that's why I went?
no, I didn't. I
Okay.
am learning. And I also didn't know that I had excellent taste in men also.
I assumed,
So,
I just assumed because you were married. I thought maybe your friends wanted to be married.
okay, yeah. I mean, well, how did that work out for you? Because like family dinner. So what we're talking about here is when we were in New York City, and my family was in New York City, we went to Trinity Grace Church, and John Tyson was the pastor there, and he was just pushing strongly, living in community, doing life together. So we would have these family dinners, friends, coworkers, friends, church friends, neighbors, things like that coming over. When did I first invite you to a family dinner, or were you ever invited, or did you just show up?
Thank you. I would not have come had it been for my coworker and friend Bree Duffy, married named Siderius, just had her first child yesterday.
I saw
Healthy
on
baby
Facebook.
girl.
Yes,
Very cute.
yes,
Some people have ugly children, she does not.
yeah,
And so she took me. I actually was very nervous about being there in general, and she just said like, all right, we're just gonna go. And then the next week I came back without her because I had such a good time. And I don't think that she really came much after that. I just took over. I just tapped
yeah.
in and decided to be the cute little white girl in your group of
You
friends.
just told her that dinners were canceled, and you just
She's
wanted
done.
to.
Yeah,
Yep.
because if there were any men out there, I didn't want her to have them. I wanted to be the one.
Yeah. And what did you think about my taste in men, like once you started attending?
I immediately really liked one that you had, and then immediately found out that he was a celibate brother in the Catholic Church, and that he had no intentions of being married. And that was great. Then I didn't have to think about it. Then I
Yeah,
could be friends with him and then try to meet others. And then you only
other
had,
celibate men.
well, you only had other Catholic men. And just Protestant enough that I can't even flirt with that.
Yeah.
So it was unsuccessful. It was unsuccessful.
Clearly, because yeah, I mean, there goes my referral rate. You're marrying a non-family dinner attender. My most distinct memory of a family dinner with you was when my friend Jesse, who is also from Minnesota,
Oh
he
yeah,
just such a kind-hearted soul,
poor.
and you were on full Sophia, and I think that he just kind of, again, he was like so kind-hearted and soft-spoken. He didn't slam his hands on the table, but I think that he at least gently placed both hands on the table in a sign of kind of surrender and frustration, and just said, I just don't know how to handle you right now. I don't know what you said, but I'll just always remember that. And I don't know, like, is Minnesota tribal in some way, like territorial?
I
Like, you probably don't remember like where he was from or anything. I'm just trying to think if there are any lines that,
Gosh, poor Jesse. I'm going to be honest, never saw that kid again. Did add him on
oh
Facebook
yeah,
as
I
a
mean,
friend.
that's no surprise.
That's no surprise. I know he never came by your house again. Um, I do remember that, like, I was being like just punchy, and what I thought was being flirty was being mean. And so, again, like this was like some 18-year-old punk, like not like interested in romantically, but like still interested. Like maybe he had an older brother, and so you just never know. I was on the prowl, my friend. I was on the prowl, and
Yeah.
just took it all out on him. Didn't realize it. I've grown, if that helps. I hope I have. I pray I have. But to Jesse, I am sorry. I hope you're well, and I hope that your family is safe during this time.
Has anyone, I mean, since then, in recent times, like, has anyone ever kind of surrendered during a dinner conversation?
I wouldn't
to
pay any
you
mind. I
in a
wouldn't care.
similar way? I mean, that, because I feel like that's an indicator of growth. Like how many other people have just kind of given up? Like the physical expression of the term, of the phrase, I can't even. Like how many, you don't recall? Okay. All right. Well, if that hasn't happened, then maybe you have grown.
Or I just don't notice because they're just little people that I don't even think about.
True, true. You may have regressed easily, which maybe is what happens when you go to get a master's at an Ivy League school, like the Ivy League school,
It doesn't
which I
happen.
think everyone can kind of feel even through the screen, like they can feel it
That's
coming
what
from you. So, so yes, you are fresh from Harvard University,
in all
right?
its glory.
Yeah. So when you arrive on campus, which translation of the Bible do you use to throw on the burn pile?
Okay. Their divinity school, I will say, I met one interesting person at their divinity school in my time, and she was really interesting. That's all I want to say. That's
Yeah.
all I want to say.
What was it like for you coming from the King's College? Again, small Christian school in Manhattan that leans conservative in different ways, but coming from there to Harvard.
I mean, I think it could probably be like any other educational experience. You get out of it what you put into it. And so I knew the classes where it was worthwhile to ask hard questions. Usually the professors were a little bit older and kind of had been around the block and were willing to still debate you. And I could just tell the professors who were not going to be entertained with any other idea other than their own. And so, those were the ones where I thought, okay, I know what I need to write about. I know what I need to kind of talk about. But I also I didn't want to be rigid. I wanted to also be open to different ideas. And so, with history, it's interesting. Basically, everything is subjective. There's not many things that you can just say objectively, even though that's what you're quizzed on when you're in grade school and high school. What year was this? How many people died in this? Where was this taking place? You can say those things, but what I cared about was why, or how did this happen? And for the most part, you can kind of argue a bunch of different answers. And so I was really thankful to be around people who just loved learning for the most part. But honestly, I thought that the best work I ever did was at King's, was my undergrad. That was a place that really did shape my worldview, challenge my worldview, and was able to make me confident and just clear-headed enough for what this Harvard education got me. So big fan of it. Really glad that I was able to be there. Socially not interesting. I really didn't make any friends through the school itself because I was a lot more involved with a home church, and I also had a job that I really enjoyed. So that was my main focus, was life outside that. And also once I started dating someone not at Harvard, I'm like, I don't care about you, man. But there were some. I will say, if you're interested in finding a spouse, there's a couple of people who are out there. I will point you in that direction. But I never crashed a party. I never really got to hang out with a professor at a bar. And I never asked a guy through a glass window, how do you like them apples? Which is something that I still want to try. And if you don't understand that reference, I can't be any more clear.
I was trying to find a way to work that into your story, so I'm really glad. I mean, that just shows that even through the pixels on the screen and the data packets on the internet, we are still in tune.
We are in one spirit, baby.
Yes, we are. What did you study at Harvard, and what do you want to do with it?
Great question.
I feel that 15 minutes into this, now I'm actually interviewing you, so I'm sure that the audience really appreciates that.
I'm going to be a unique one. I feel like you don't have many historians in your repertoire. I could be wrong. Also, I barely feel like a historian. I just know random facts that are gonna like get me help for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and that's all I'm good for. I really don't have like, big concept sort of questions. So as previously mentioned 8 times in this chat, I studied history. I focused on something, but my degree isn't in that. I was waffling between Russian history, specifically 20th century. I just thought the Russian Revolution was fascinating. And then I found out that everyone writes about it for their dissertation. So I thought that that wasn't going to be like something interesting to, just one more time hash out. I was personally fascinated by it, but I didn't think that a larger audience would. So I ended up really taking the majority of my classes in early American history, just colonial America, sort of like American Revolutionary War. And then I only did actually one Civil War class, but I really enjoyed it. And I love that, so much of what we did was be in Boston and see these sites. So I think what I can share with your audience that I learned is that you have a historical society right in your town or county. I can guarantee it. And where you're living right now has such an intrinsically important like value, like where we are. I can tell you, for like in Florida where you are, it's fascinating. Florida's got such a messed up history, and you understand why the people are the way they are there. And so it's a little bit of like sociology, it's a little bit of anthropology, but I just wanted to figure out who I was. I wanted to know, how did I get to be in America present day, and how did people around me?
Did you write any papers or anything on the origin of Florida Man?
I don't joke. I did my first semester, not Florida Man, but I did title it Florida Man, but I didn't in any crime. I should have, because I love a Florida Man story.
Yes. Well, feel free to upload that paper to post it on medium.com or something like that, because that could be the beginning of something, of an expertise. What is one, what's one stereotype of like an Ivy League grad that you feel like is unfair? Because as soon as Harvard comes up, there's just this picture of how someone perceives themselves, or how they rank themselves in society and stuff like that. But yeah, now that you're one of them, what doesn't feel fair to you, or just this isn't, people think that this is what Harvard is like, or having this this thing on my resume is like, but it's not true.
So I come from a background that is just not like Ivy League oriented. It wasn't a really big deal. I didn't know anyone who really went to like a pretty high-end school. I'm very proud of the education I had, but there was a stereotype that they don't really care what you think. It's important that you conform to their way of thinking, to their worldview. And you can kind of get your way through your degree and hold on to what you believe. You don't have to be changed by this system, because at the end of the day, depending on how big your classes are, I suppose you can kind of just regurgitate this information and not put your heart into it. So I would say that I didn't lose my soul. I didn't lose my background. Still very much the same person. And I kind of was hoping I would be enhanced, I would be transformed, but I just got really good at writing an 18-page paper pretty quickly, which I already knew about myself, that I can do that.
Yep. What's this degree going to get you?
A lot of jokes at the Thanksgiving table with my family, and a lot of debt that I'm almost done paying off as of this weekend. This paycheck, baby. This is going to be it. Then I'm done.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I wanted to be a professor. I wanted to be a history professor. And who knows, maybe I could be. But then I realized I still don't know a lot. I don't think that I have enough information to just tell. And instruct students on before they go out into the world and make a name for themselves. So, I mean, I love college students. I really do. I wish I could be working for a college, but I actually kind of switched what I wanted to do with my life while I was in Boston with the job
Yeah.
that I got. So I I hope everyone laughs, but I really like human resources, actually. I think it's actually a really important part of a company. And the companies that I've worked for are just have been incredible, what they're doing in the life sciences. So yes, I want to transfer to a company like that in New York, and then hopefully just kind of help a company out with its mission. So I'm a big,
Yeah.
big fan.
The work that you did at King's after you graduated was working, and we actually didn't even touch upon this, we're almost at an hour,
Yeah.
was in the admissions department. And now, obviously, you studied history at Harvard. Now you're interested in human resources. What is it about human resources like
Mhm.
that? You went into that a little bit, but like, what are like the heart things that you feel about human resources where it's at least currently drawing your interest from being a history professor?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because I loved King's and recruiting for King's because of the mission, because I firmly believed in it and I could just share that mission with other students. And it wasn't so much a sales job as like, let me share a story with you that I'm compelled to share. And I see that very similar to my love of history, which is there's a narrative of how we got here. There's a narrative of how you are the way you are and what you believe. And let me share that with you. Kind of like let's inform this background. I mean, biblical history I think is fascinating. Early church history is fascinating. Western civilization. But then you look at Eastern religions and the impact they have. Anyways, this helps that I studied philosophy as an undergrad, but I really appreciate high concepts, and human resources brings that down to earth. And so, how do you care for the people that you're around? Like, how do you serve them in a practical way that will, hopefully charge the mission of the company that you're a part of? So again, I was blessed to be at a place that had a killer mission and was literally saving lives. They're curing cancer. And it's a specific type. I didn't study science. I don't know exactly what's going on, but it's a specific blood cancer, leukemia. And within that, it's a horrible degenerating disease, and they're fighting against that. So if I get to help these people do that, I'm going to be pretty excited about that. So
Yeah. Yeah, and even as you say that, even before you brought up the mission of a company, it made me realize that in human resource positions, you can take these words that probably, like, honestly, to most other departments, just kind of seem like the movie Office Space, just office jargon, company jargon. You just say these flighty things that sound good, but what kind of application do they really have? And it seems like when you're in human resources, because you're working on an intimate level with every employee in the company, basically, like you can take these company values and imbue them into your work and imbue them into your communications. And as you're helping people pay for their medical treatments, or save for the future, save for retirement, yeah, you can really just infuse the company spirit into the business dealings of your coworkers. And that does seem like a really cool thing to do for not just a company, but for people, for individuals.
yeah.
There's a question coming in from one Lucinda, if you know Lucinda. She says, can we hear some great or horror stories of interviews, either now or at King's?
Lucinda, my old nemesis. She, like I, interview people professionally. And I will just say that I've been pretty blessed by having just people who are so much smarter than I am be the object of questions. And if they asked a question about me, I would be done within 2 minutes. So they're much more informed about how this process works. Even the young ones just from college, they're still on their best behavior, trying to like sound like they know what they're talking about. So one particularly bad interview, I would probably even go back to my King's days about students who were trying to get into college. And so I would just say in general, trying to flirt with your recruiter who is well out of your league, your age range, is a really bad idea and not a good way to get either a job or a spot in your college, as much as I would appreciate it. So thank you. You know who you are.
Was this like a loosening the tie in the middle of the interview, like undoing the top button type flirt?
It was, it was a lot simpler than that. It was like, do you know a good place to eat around here? Oh, do you want to? No, I don't actually. I have no interest in joining you. Thanks. Actually, don't. No, thanks. None at all. I'm not grateful for that suggestion.
That may have just been his version of the thank you email. Like, have you considered that? Just giving people the benefit of the doubt?
If he was just a little, I don't know. I don't want to be, yeah, if he was just a little taller, maybe. That's the.
Here we go back to height again. Yeah, height. That old nemesis. Speaking of nemesis.
Are you against dating a tall woman? Is that what this is about?
No, I'm
How
not.
tall is too tall, Eric? Be honest. There's the height. What is it?
Let's see. Should I answer in English, American measurements, or metric? It depends on who's watching.
Just the spirit. Just like.
I'm open to all heights. Yeah. I really don't. It's really not that much of a factor in terms of my standards. I'm a very open and generous person, I think, when it comes to that.
How about she just doesn't pat your head?
Yeah, that would help. I mean, it will bring back some nice memories of that ring bearing stint that I had. But I think that yes, I am open. And what the audience doesn't know is we talk a ton about dating, whether it's on text message or like one little bit that I wanted to do for this show was I wanted us to live read like text messages that we've had about dating, because we've had some really good exchanges. But as I reread them tonight, I just felt like they weren't going to really play online. And I've got someone knocking on the door here. So they just backed out and now they're coming back again. So yeah, there are other people in this house right now. They're small. So, but yeah, they're not going to really play. You know, we're at an hour, so I want to respect people's time. But I think that, I mean, what should I do, Sophia? Like that, you know, I'm just always asking you for advice. You know, what do I have going for me? You've been very generous in trying to find 25-year-olds up to 59-year-olds. You've recommended several 50, 60, 70-year-olds who are mature in spirit.
They know right away. Their experience. They know what's going on in the world, and you know that they can bake.
Yeah. And I'm sure that also, because I like to hike, I'm sure many of them have freshly replaced hips and joints that would do well on, you know, the hills of the Northeast. So that's great.
Did I tell you my rule? I was once in love with a very dear professor, and I found out that he just recently had hip surgery. And I thought, like, you know what? I think I need to date someone who's on their first hip. And that was a good rule for me. I think that really helped me in life. But I don't think that should stop you. I think you're at a place where you can accept the second hip.
Okay. Yeah. Especially if it's like titanium or vibranium
It's gonna
or some kind
outlast
of,
you, baby.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, some kind of material like that. It may have even, I'll use the word imbue again, but it may have imbued them with some kind of superpowers, which would really come in handy when it comes to moving. Because just with my own mortal, I mean, I've done a lot of moving. We can talk about that next time. But yeah, like my own mortal, non-mutant, non-enhanced body it's kind of tired. I'm just tired of moving. So yeah, if there are adamantium or vibranium or whatever hips out there, please, if you're in, if you're in your 70s and you're watching this and you have some kind of like strong metal hip, leave a message in the chat box.
If anyone's mother is available as well, Eric's good with moms. Does that help? Probably not.
Yeah, we should do this again, and we should bring some other experts in there, and we can do like a whole analysis and stuff.
I'm looking forward to never being invited back to this. I can't imagine.
I will invite you back, but I could just do some kind of survey, like how can you be at negative concurrent viewers? I don't know. I'm sure YouTube is going to ding me on that. Great. Well, we're over an hour. There's so much more we could talk about. So many more Star Wars quizzes we could jump into, but I've been told that you should leave them wanting more.
Good.
And I don't know if anyone wants more of anything from this call, but I will go ahead and call it for tonight. Do you have any parting thoughts?
Eric, I am thankful for your friendship. I'm thankful for your faithfulness, for the example that you set as a father and as a brother in Christ, and that we're never more than a FaceTime away from each other. And that's for all of us watching. You're never more than a FaceTime away.
Yes. Yep. We'll be distributing Sophia's number at the end of this. So feel free to
I've got
FaceTime
2
her.
sisters who are looking for men, so I'm open. And no brothers, sorry.
Okay. All right. Well, she's gonna open up her dating service at the end of this call. We'll have an 800 number. It'll be great. We're gonna make matches happen. And that's basically what this call is about. This whole thing is about. Thank you for joining us. For Sophia, of course, and those watching, we hope that this was entertaining in some kind of way. I'd like to do this again, unless there is an internet revolt about it. We're definitely going to have Sophia back again because she is just a joy of a person to talk to and to know and to spend time with. I can't wait till we can spend time in person, and we're going to make chicken parm, and we're going to celebrate your wedding and just great friendships, and we're gonna make New York a better place together.
Amen.
And I'm announcing my mayorship tonight. But all right, I can keep talking for a really long time, but my things are gonna run out, and everyone's gonna get upset. So thank you. Let's do it again.
Yes. Thank you all for watching. Thank you, Eric, for having me, and I will see you in person soon.
Yes. Good night, everyone.